Welcome, Lakers, to another edition of Laker News. I'm Montez Fennick.
And I'm Jessica Kroll.
Grand Valley's homecoming is this weekend, and Padnos held their biggest study abroad event.
And in sports, the Lakers faced off against the Bulldogs at Lubbers Stadium. Today is Friday, October 14th, 2016. GVSU received a harmonic life lesson this week by Ugandan musician Samite Mulando. He shared his message with stories of tragedy in Africa and how music can uplift spirits. The entire event was filmed live, and you can check out the whole video on Grand Valley TV's YouTube.
Allendale shedding light on 48th Avenue. Permanent street lights are finally being installed after much discussion about campus safety. Grand Valley State University is in the middle of homecoming week, and the homecoming committee has decided the best way to celebrate is to have a Quidditch tournament. Connor Pena has more.
Rooms down! Ready! Rooms up!
When you think of intense sports, Quidditch may not be the first one to come to mind. However,
it's really intense. That's honestly a lot of the times people will come and like, oh wow, this is a really real sport.
That was Jacob Dillon, member of the Grand Valley Quidditch team and head ref of the championship game on Wednesday. Jacob and his fellow Quidditch players joined forces with those competing to create the teams Wednesday night. A team up that made Dan Ziegenfelder so excited about the event.
We talked to the Quidditch team and we set some stuff up, and each team got their own coach, and they all came here tonight, and it looks like it's all going grand.
While not as grand as Grand Valley, Abracadabra was grand enough to beat out the competition and win the tournament. One of the leading scorers for the team was Drew Wilson, and here's what he had to say about his experience.
I had an awesome time.
That probably had a lot to do with the consistent lopsided victories his team had. Working together or separate didn't seem to matter for Abracadabra. Neither did it matter if they scored from in front or behind the hoop. As in every game, they scored almost double their opponent's score and always finished it off by grabbing a stitch. However, their victory does not signify the end of homecoming week.
Thursday we're doing Sculpted, but it's not at night, it's from 3 to 6 p.m. And then Friday we're doing Lip Sync, so everyone's favorite, in the Fieldhouse Arena.
And after people leave the lip sync event in the Fieldhouse on Friday, they can be excited for.
And then Saturday, we have the football game.
The Grand Valley Quidditch team was very impressed as to how excited every single one of the fraternities got about playing Quidditch. And it made them very excited about playing the game themselves this Saturday in Sparta. In Grand Valley, I'm Connor Pena.
Also, as part of homecoming, student organizations nominate regents to represent them. On Monday, they serenaded their regents at the Regent Reveal. Blair Thompson has more.
At the Kirkhoff Center in the Pierre Marquette Room, Grand Valley students are revealing their nominations for Homecoming Regent. Gina Gondek is one of the nominees.
I've been serenading since my freshman year, so every time I look up to that person, I'm like, that's so cute, that's so sweet to see their sorority or their fraternity serenading, and then it's finally my chance, so it was pretty exciting.
The Homecoming Regent process is quite complicated. First, students have to be nominated by a campus organization. Next, they have to have at least a 2.5 GPA. They must then fill an application and be interviewed by Grand Valley Student Life team. Student Life then chooses the top 10 candidates, and on reveal night, peers can celebrate their nominee by serenading them.
I still don't really know how I feel. It's kind of like exciting, but it's kind of just like nerve-wracking at the same time. It means I've got to do a lot more stuff this week, and exams are this week, but I don't know. I feel really good about it. So thanks for everyone who voted.
Voting will take place from Tuesday, October 11th at 12:01 a.m. until Friday, October 14th at 11:59 p.m. Any GVS student or faculty staff member can cast up to 3 votes. Nominees have the chance to make their voices heard as to why they should be this year's Homecoming Regent at Grand Valley's annual lip sync competition on Friday.
In Allendale, I'm Blair Thompson.
Exploring new countries without even leaving Allendale. Grand Valley State University's Padnos International Center kicks off its biggest event of the year. Gina Gondek has more on the story.
With new cultures and new traditions, where will you study abroad? GVSU students packed the Grand River Room for the biannual Study Abroad Fair to search for their next academic journey. Each table had information on specific programs from all around the world that students can learn more about, fill out an interest form for, and look into the application process.
Once we found the program, we start the application process, which is usually an online application called the Oasis. Most of them are very general, but there are some essay questions about why do you think you will be a good fit for this program. programs, what kind of experience you have internationally.
Study abroad programs can range from 2 weeks to an entire academic year, and you are not required to speak a second language in order to study abroad. Professor Roxana from Chile explains what her program entails.
We have a partnership with the University of Grand Valley, so students go for summer for 9 weeks to study Spanish there, and also to see the culture a little bit, and also to travel around.
With over 60 plus GVSU programs, students have the opportunity to study in almost every region of the world. When it comes down to the dollar, there are about 15 programs that cost less than a semester at GVSU.
So the importance to study abroad for me was because we come from such a privileged country, and I think it's really important to understand that the rest of the world doesn't have all the same privileges or opportunities that we have, and it kind of humbled me to be able to go and see these other countries. So having these opportunities, I feel like we have to use them, and we should use them as much as we're able to and go study abroad and see the world.
For more information and the application link, student can go to www.gvsu.edu/studyabroad. People around the country celebrate today as Columbus Day, marking the day Christopher Columbus supposedly discovered America. However, not everyone is happy with the holiday. Jordan Schulte has the story.
In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. While the story goes that he made friends with the Native Americans, a panel of experts at Grand Valley State University's Cook DeWitt Center says Columbus was hardly someone worth celebrating.
He took dogs against the women and children and men. He would cut off their limbs if they didn't bring him gold. Just did some terrible things.
That's why the panel, which consists of leaders in the local Native American community, argues we should stop the celebration of Columbus Day as a federal holiday.
It's basically celebrating a terrible person. I mean, Germany doesn't have a Hitler Day, and that's just about like what he would have been to the Taino tribe when he came over here from Europe.
The plan was for the panel to have someone defend the observance of Columbus Day. There was only one problem.
For a couple of years now, we've attempted to bring in a proponent of Columbus Day, but it's been very difficult because there's really not a whole lot of people out there that want to advocate for Columbus and for Columbus Day.
Rethinking Columbus isn't only about protecting people's feelings, it's also about making sure that history is taught accurately.
American history isn't really known. The American history is written by those who theoretically won, and they're not going to write necessarily the actual history and what actually happened to get us to the point where we are today. And so I want them to go back and reassess what it is that they think American history really is.
In Allendale, I'm Jordan Schulte.
Several states, including Hawaii, Alaska, and Vermont, have stopped observing Columbus Day entirely. Grand Valley just had its big rivalry game against Ferris State. Here's our coverage of the game.
Cornhole, grilling, and music. Many fans joined in on the pre-game tailgate to kick off this season's rivalry game.
It's really more closer than other tailgates. We're really pretty much packed in. We're closer. You get to know more people. You get to see more people, and it's just an experience. Especially right before the game, you all head over at the same time, and then you go have fun at the game. You go watch them win.
Well, this is going to be a great football Saturday night spirit. We got a good game coming up. You can hear the excitement with the band. I just love the atmosphere.
The Anchor Bone Trophy has been in the hands of the Ferris State Bulldogs for the past 4 years, but on Saturday, October 8th, history would not repeat itself. The Lakers took on the Bulldogs at Lubber Stadium. Many students, faculty, and alumni showed support for the Lakers, and even some Ferris fans made the drive down to GVSU. The game brought in a record-breaking 16,000 plus fans in attendance. The Lakers led the Bulldogs 28-6 at halftime. The GVSU defense only allowed 2 field goals. In the second half, the Bulldogs found their footing and scored 2 touchdowns and 1 field goal. With a little over 5 minutes left of the game, the Lakers scored a touchdown to seal the win.
I think that it's definitely a very unique experience compared to a Division I school. I think that we have a Division I atmosphere. Like it's that huge, very devoted fans, and I don't know, it's really exciting, but it's on a smaller scale, so I think it gives a little bit more of a sense of community.
The Lakers won 35-23, increasing their record to 6-0. For the Bulldogs, this loss ended a 16 road game winning streak. The Lakers welcome home the Anchorbone Trophy.
The football team looked good, but how did the rest of the teams do, Paul?
Well, Montez, they did pretty well themselves. The women's soccer team was in action this week as they took on Lake Erie College. The Lakers came away with an 8-0 win while outshooting the Storm 34-1. Gabriella Mancati and Claire Carlson each had 2 goals for the Lakers. The men's golf team traveled to Eureka, Missouri to participate in the 2nd Midwest Regional. At Fox Run Golf Club, the team finished 3rd with an overall team score of 603. Dominic Mancinelli led the Lakers with a 2-day score of 5 over par. The women's golf team participated in the Bing Beal Classic at Findlay Country Club in Findlay, Ohio. The team finished 3rd with a 2-day score of 626. Katie Chipman finished 7th overall, shooting 10 over par.
Thanks, Paul, for the sports. The Grand DIY team is showing you how to make your very own chalkboard for your dorm room or apartment. Check out this week's Grand DIY.
Thanks for watching Laker News. Be sure to join us next week.
Have a great weekend, Lakers. Anchor up.